Renovating Retirement with Charlie Jewett. Oh no, I think I'm about to have another episode.
Hello, friends, frogs, and foes. Charlie Jewett here from the Renovating Retirement Podcast, the Renovating Retirement Movement, the Renovating Retirement Philosophy. It's not a religion. Heck no. It's a philosophy. It's a weird philosophy for weird people that think, I think truth is more helpful than lies. Let's band together as a bunch of weirdos and go against the, popular beliefs that lying to people and deception and steering them into what gives you the highest commission, or forget commissions. What you really should do is join the religion of the Edward Morgan lynchers and say, commissions are bad. You don't want to pay a one-time small commission. You want to pay fees every year for the rest of your life that increase if your money happens to grow. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so fees are good, commissions are bad, even if fees cost 4 or 5 times as much over your lifetime, and the fee goes to nothing, just goes to gambling and risk. But commissions, one time, even if they cost 25 to 30% over your lifetime, are bad. That's an interesting argument. Whatever. Welcome to the show. Charlie Jewett again, episode 183. This episode is going to be called, If It Literally Costs Nothing, Why Is It So Hard to Purchase? What do I mean by that? If optimizing your finances, if giving yourself 30, 40, 50% more retirement income, if eliminating all of the fees in your portfolio and your accounts, if transitioning to a completely 0% tax bracket in retirement where you keep 100% of your income, and the IRS says, good job, you followed the rules. We'll get taxes from other people who don't follow the rules. If all of those benefits cost less than a Happy Meal or a burger somewhere or a steak or a new sweater or a picture or dent repair on your car or a bicycle, if they literally cost, those benefits, if they literally cost zero, you don't write a check, nobody charges you a fee, you are transitioning money from inferior investments or inferior financial products to superior financial products. Your net worth starts at $600,000. You transfer money from crappy stuff to good stuff. You're still at $600,000. But if you go to McDonald's, buy a Happy Meal, your net worth just went down. If the service and product that my team and I have been offering for 17 years gives everybody everything they want, lower fees, lower taxes, more security, less to no losses, higher income. Your family gets more money when you pass away. Long life, short life, rough life, sick life, into the next life. If what we offer is literally better than everyone else in the United States, and certainly better than what you currently have now, and your net worth won't change. Sometimes it goes up, by the way, because some of our investment choices, you're walking into 20 to 25% equity day one. But if your net worth is guaranteed to not go down, which means the cost is zero, why do most people say no? You've heard me say this. I did not mean to do a 17-year psychological experiment on the purchasing ability of the American public. That's not what I did. In 2005, I learned an amazing strategy and thought, that is so cool. I want to be one of the teachers. I want to evangelize. I want to share this knowledge. And from 2005 till today, I've been rocking and rolling, sharing it with thousands of families. And what I can tell you thousands of families later is the most shocking thing in my life is how hard it is for Americans to buy something that costs literally nothing. Let's give a couple examples, all right? Let's say you buy a software and you either pay once up front or you pay a small monthly fee. And one of the options, one of their things that they tell you is so awesome about them, and it is awesome, is they say anytime we find an improvement, we fix a bug we add some features, we're going to automatically give you the new stuff because you're already paying for it or you already paid for it. Pay once or pay monthly, and you constantly get improvement, continual improvement. We're always going to keep it up to date. You will always have the best of the best of the best. It will never be worse than it is today. It'll just get better, 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 and you get that as part of your service. That's kind of awesome. I like that. People today do not have trouble signing up for things like that. Even software that's, $50 a month. So you're spending $600 a year, which is $600 per year more than it costs to do anything that I recommend. Increasing your income in retirement by 30 to 50%, completely eliminating taxes, leaving 3 or 4 times as much money behind to your loved ones. All of those cost zero because they're budget neutral. Your net worth stays the same. But in the software example, your net worth is going down by $50 a month. But we still do it. Of course we do. That's what money is for. It is for purchasing the things that make your life wonderful. Like, I think life is better with food than without food. Duh. I think life's better with shelter than without shelter. Duh. I like to spend money on things. Yes, I realize if I spend it today, it's not there in 30 years and it costs me $1,700,000. I understand. That's going too far as financial advisors. Money is meant to be spent. You spend some of it and you save some of it. Why? Because later in life, you're going to want to spend money still. That's what retirement planning is all about. So that's a software subscription example. What about a car service? I don't think this actually exists, but imagine if someone came out with a creative car service and said, you can always have the latest Tesla, or you can always have the latest Range Rover. You can always have the latest Bentley. Any year that we bring out a new model with any features, we will replace the old model. You will always have the best of the best of the best. It will never be worse than it is today, the car you drive. And for this one-time fee up front or for this monthly service, you get continual improvement with dynamic optimization. We got you from here until the day you pass away. That'd be kind of awesome, especially if it cost the same as a car payment or a lease. Hey, let me pay $400 a month. Let me pay $600 a month. Let me pay $895 a month, depending on what type of car you like to drive, $5,000 a month. Whatever it is, if it was within your budget, but the added feature was you can get continual improvement, that's awesome. But guess what? That money that comes out monthly comes out of your net worth. Anytime a dollar disappears from your life, you've killed a sheep. It can't have babies. You've destroyed its ability to duplicate itself and create compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world. So both the subscription service and the car service idea cost more than what I do and what my team does, because what we do costs zero. Wait a minute, Charlie. Does that mean that nothing you've ever told someone to do has a fee at any point from today until they're dead? No, I didn't say it doesn't have fees. I said it's budget neutral to go from inferior investment to superior investment. We meet people all the time with variable annuities. Cool idea, strong sales pitch, horrible product. Why do I say it's a horrible product as the guy that doesn't hate any tool? I hate annuities and you should too. That guy's a total criminal and a buffoon and deserves to lose everything in his life for the families he's hurt and the lies he tells. Well, no one says I hate protein and you should too. There aren't nutritionists who say that. No one in the construction industry says I hate hammers and you should too. No, we use a hammer when you have a nail. We eat protein when your body needs that or as part of a healthy, balanced diet. Nobody should single out a tool and have an opinion about it. I do not use whole life. You know that. I've come out very strong against the whole life cult leaders, the whole life evangelists who get giant groups of people to understand all the amazing tax benefits of life insurance, the rich man's Roth IRA, infinite banking, be your own banker, build a better bank, bank on yourself. 100% true, 100% true, 100% true, conceptually, yes, 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 yes. Then they get to the end where they've totally psyched the person into an emotional frenzy. They're like, giving candy to a baby. They're salivating for all these benefits from an insurance policy. And then these criminals stick them into a whole life policy, literally knowing knowing, this is the immorality part of the business, knowing the person's going to make half the returns. They're going to make 3 to 4% instead of 7 to 8%. Or they could be, let's please leave room for this. I've become more gentle in my older years. When I was young, I was all crazy and just attacked everybody and was rude and harsh, and I'm so sorry. Not really, but I have changed. Let's make room for it. Sometimes it's not immorality. When I email your office and I say, hey, Todd Langford, you made a bunch of mistakes and said things that weren't true, like saying 2 plus 2 is 5 in your article, 10 Reasons Not to Buy Universal Life Insurance, and me and Rob Hodges, the top mind on retirement planning in the entire country that I can find, would like to share with you these mistakes so that you, as a loving man and a respectful business person, by the way, who do you do business with? A person that has professional competence and personal character. When someone writes an article like 10 Reasons Not to Buy Universal Life Insurance and every single point has an error, is untrue, or is only true of variable universal life insurance, or is more true of whole life, which they're recommending, than it is of universal life, that means they do not have professional competence. And so I did reach out, said, I would like to have a conversation about this, and let's get to the truth together. And if I'm wrong, I will repent, because that's what good people do. When the response is, we don't debate and we won't talk to you because we have found that debate doesn't help anybody. It never changes minds. Boy, that throws a real monkey wrench in the entire talk radio industry, the entire presidential election process. It throws a monkey wrench in every single thing that Americans believe in freedom of speech, where one side argues, the other side argues. Why don't we teach debate in school if debates never change anybody's mind or don't have any value? This is a new philosophy for me. It's interesting. But when someone says, oh, you've read my article and found errors, but I won't speak to you or even consider learning from you, I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing, that shows it's not just professional competence. There's a problem with personal character. Todd, if you're listening, it could be that your secretary, I don't know what we call those today. You can't say midget, can't say retard, can't say secretary, can't say boy, can't say girl. You're not supposed to pick the gender of your child till they're 47. I don't even know what world we live in anymore, what words I'm allowed to use, or who's going to be unhappy or not. So who gives a crap? I don't care who's happy or who's not. It could be your administrative assistant made a mistake, never showed you my email, answered what she thought you'd want to say, and really misrepresented you. I do welcome you to get in touch. Charlie@JewettWealth.com, CHARLIE at JEWETTWealth.com anytime you want to, because I care more about the industry, more about our consumers than making money or pushing any of my own products like it feels like you're doing. Anytime you'd like to come on the show and have a conversation with Rob Hodges and I about your article, where we will repent and admit to everyone if you are right, and I will give you the link to the podcast for you to send to your entire database, and you can title the podcast, Listen In as I School Charlie Jewett and Rob Hodges on What's True. Now, we will never do that. If we find that we are right and you are wrong, we're not going to farm that out to anybody. We're going to thank you, pump you up, and tell everybody what an amazing, humble, incredible addition to the industry you are. But until that day, it seems we have a problem with these whole life evangelists in personal character and professional competence. Why did I say all that? I said all that because there's no reason to hate on any tool, but I mentioned variable annuities. Why? Because when you look inside of a variable annuity, you find, oh, what are we investing in? We're investing in sub-accounts. What are they investing in? They're investing in the stock market through mutual funds or different various ways. Okay, it's risk with a side of fees. Awesome. Couldn't I have that without a variable annuity? Yes, you could. And you could have it for cheap. doing what Warren Buffett says and just going and buying a cheap index fund and not using a money manager. Guys, you're going to hear it over and over again from me. If you still have a person in your life charging you a fee, 1% a year, 0.5% a year, if you have someone in your life giving, quote, investment advice, so they're actually putting you in things that could go up or down, what would that sound like? Stock, bond, mutual fund, asset allocation, pie chart. Here's how much you've made over the last 6 months, but before that, it went down. If your money did go down in March of 2020 when the coronavirus hit, if you still have someone charging you a fee to gamble, just know 100% of the evidence and experts say you will make less money than if you fire them and just buy the market directly. Now, is that the end? Is an entire merit plan, an entire comprehensive financial plan, mortgage plan, estate plan, retirement plan, insurance plan, tax plan, is the entire plan one instruction? Buy an index fund and hope it goes well. No, that's not. We're much more careful, much more serious than that. An entire meal is not Brussels sprouts only. Although if you love Brussels sprouts, that could be cool. In nutritional consulting, which is a background of mine, you did a variety of foods in each meal, a variety of foods throughout the day because bodies need different things and sometimes different things at different times. And sometimes we have to take breaks and sometimes we have to do an elimination diet to find something that's causing problems. Nothing is that simple. You don't want a simple spaceship taking you to the moon or wherever you want to go. You don't want anything simple that really matters. You don't want a simple car. That'd be a bike. Complexity has its place. When a variable annuity has 3.8% fees, and for those 3.8% fees, you've earned the right to invest in a very tiny grouping of mutual funds, as opposed to all of them or just buying the index. When an annuity like that has 3.8% fees, and we go, well, what else is out there? Oh, here's an annuity where you can't lose money when the market goes down. It has no fees, and it's been averaging more than the market anyway. It's actually been making more than the variable annuity. And you go from inferior to superior, but it still has fees. That is not a cost. You need to be very careful when you're listening to me saying there's no cost. I'm not saying nothing you ever do will have a cost associated with it. Every car still has friction. Something is fighting the car. It weighs a lot. There's friction on the tires, whatever. Life is like that. What I'm saying is when you move $500,000 from a crappy annuity to a good annuity, you don't go down to $495,000. You're not writing anybody a check for $1,200 for their advice, or you shouldn't be. That's what I'm talking about. So let me give you another example. Imagine I was recruiting. I wanted to recruit amazing salespeople, which I do all the time. So if you're not in the industry and you'd like to be a part of the revolution, that is one of my roles nationwide, is to recruit and train. There's about 900 people right now where I'm a part of their life. They already have an insurance license. They're in the business, and that's growing every day. If you'd like to be in the industry and part of the revolution, please reach out. Charlie@jewettwealth.com, CHARLIE@JEWETT wealth.com. Imagine I was recruiting and I said, here's the job. I'd like you to walk up and down the streets. By the way, I never ask people to do this in financial services, but it helps for my little story. I'd like you to walk up and down the streets, knock on doors, and if somebody answers, say, I'm so sorry. I know it's annoying when somebody comes to your door, but I do free kitchen remodels. I work for a television show. All we want is the before and after picture and a little testimony from you about what it was like to go through the experience, how much you like your new kitchen better than the old kitchen, or whatever. We really just want to take you from old appliances, linoleum, some sort of cheap counter, whatever. If what you have isn't the best of the best of the best, and we can improve upon it, with things that have been created since you maybe put the kitchen in the first place, if we can improve upon it with better materials, Mrs. House Owner, Mr. House Owner, would you like the new kitchen at no cost? Or would you like to keep your existing kitchen and just give up on the opportunity? Are there some people that would turn down the free kitchen? I think so. I think there's some people. My dad built this. I built it with my dad. We put it in 6 months ago. Whatever. There will be reasons why many people say, I don't want the free new kitchen. But maybe you can agree with me. The majority of people would probably just say, well, that sounds too good to be true. But yes, if you're going to remodel my kitchen, can we also do the bathrooms? Can we do the whole house? Can you give me a bed? Can you put me in a new house at no cost? And by the way, one of my books teaches something called the free home upgrade. How do you get a bigger, better house without changing your budget at all and having more income in retirement and lower taxes? So the free kitchen remodel is an example that works really well. It's not true. It's a story. When you remodel a kitchen, you do have to pay somebody, and your net worth goes down, at least on, at first. If your house value goes up, maybe you break even or make some money, who knows? But you have to write a check and take money out of investments. You have to kill your sheep, have them stop earning interest. And guess what? Now that a huge part of my job is recruiting and training rock star black belt financial advisors that I take from white belt to black belt over a couple of years, now that that's a part of my life, I've noticed the financial services, what we do for people, literally is the free kitchen remodel on their finances. We show up in people's lives, or they show up in our life, and say, please take a peek at what I'm doing. We say, I'm going to do a good news or good news review. And by the way, if you go to goodnewsorgoodnews.com, you will find one of my websites set up 100% for this reason. Everybody's afraid. Are you going to be pushy? Are you going to be a salesman? What's going to happen? How much is it going to cost? Calm down. It's not going to cost anything, and it's not going to be high pressure. Listen to me. I'm a teaching addict. I couldn't high pressure sell you if I wanted to. I'm addicted to teaching and sharing. The Good News or goodnews.com has 2 videos on it, and it literally teaches, here's what we're doing in our second opinion service. Here's what we're doing in financial services when we look at a free financial remodel. What's the good news? Good news number 1, we come back and say, you are perfect. Don't change a thing. We could not possibly lower your fees. We didn't find any way to give you more retirement income. You're already in a 0% tax bracket. You're carrying no risk at all. Whatever it is, if you pass away, your family gets 3 or 4 times as much money as they need. And if you get sick, someone else is going to pay for it. Long life, short life, rough life, sick life, or the next life. I cannot find an improvement to any of the 5 lives of retirement. You are perfect. That's really good news. That makes people feel awesome. They sleep really, really well at night. But the other, more popular, when I say it happens, more often when we review somebody's financial plan, it's the first time a merit planner has ever looked at it this comprehensively. The mortgage plan, the estate plan, the retirement plan, the insurance plan, the tax plan. How are they functioning together? Do we have all 3 types of money in case accounts, income accounts, or increase accounts? Wait a minute, there's no income accounts. Everything's in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. All you have is growth, 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 and hope. Growth, hope with a side of fees is not a financial plan. Where's the income? Mr. and Mrs. Jones, when you retire at 62, exactly what will your income be from all sources? I don't know, it depends on market performance is not an answer that anyone should ever have to answer. And yet 95 to 99% of the people I've met in 17 years have money in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds where they're gambling before they even have enough money to retire. They're literally gambling with money that has no business in the stock market. And they don't know what their income's going to be. Okay, so you don't have the 3 types of money. What about the 5 lives of retirement? Long, short, rough, sick. Next. The most common, most popular thing that happens when we do a good news or good news review is we have another type of good news, which is, listen, we don't have to charge you anything. Your net worth isn't going to change, but man, there's 4 or 5 things we can do here where you can retire 5-10 years early or retire with 30 to 50% more retirement income. Plus, we can eliminate all the taxes. Plus, we can lower your fees. Plus, we can make it where your family gets more money if you pass away. Plus, if you get sick, we can have somebody else pay for it. Where right now, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you don't have any of those things. Well, how much is it going to cost? It's not going to cost anything. Well, that sounds too good to be true. I understand. How do you like to prove to yourself that true things are true? If I said Elvis is in my backyard, and you said, I don't think you're I don't think you're telling the truth. I don't think Elvis is in your backyard. And we just sit here and stare at each other and go, well, I guess we're at a standstill. Let's do absolutely nothing and stare at each other until one of our hearts stops beating. No. If I said Elvis is in the backyard and you said, I don't believe you, I'd be like, come on. I'd take you out back. He's all, for the money, or whatever he does. And you're like, what the? That's Elvis. And I go, I know it's Elvis. Do you have any friends that might like to know that Elvis is over here? You're like, yeah. There you get referrals. How do you guys think I've grown so quickly? How do you think the podcast grows? Why do you think so many people are coming over? Why do you think there's a team of 900 that I'm part of training? Because we get referrals all the time when people have the epiphany. Hold on. It's free? Like, you're not going to charge me? No, never have. Hold on. I don't lose money anywhere in the process? No, that's not the way the industry works. Okay, hold on. We're allowed to have 100% of our retirement income completely tax-free, and the IRS publishes the materials annually on how to do it? Yeah, it's been that way for probably as long as you've been alive. Oh, I got to tell my friends. I know you have to tell your friends. Please do tell your friends. Please tell your friends about this show. Please tell your friends to email me, charlie@jewettwealth.com, CHARLIE@JEWETT, wealth.com. Why? Because 100% of my time is spent doing free kitchen remodels just on people's finances. But let's get really honest. It doesn't have no cost. There is a cost. There's actually a cost that I have found is way harder for people to spend or pull the trigger on than a financial cost, and that is an emotional cost. My research, the thousands of families I've met with, the families that the 900 people I work with have met with, all the other advisors I've talked to, it seems like for Americans, the number one scariest thing to do ever is make a change. I mean, we preach the stock market's made less money than the safer tools. If it goes down, you lose money. You have to spend time recovering. With us, you never lose the money in the first place. There's never a recovery time. There's zero fees in some annuities. There's 0.5% to 1% fees inside of life insurance, but they're not going to nothing. They're taking care of your family if you die. They're paying for long-term care benefits. They're cheaper than taxes anyway. Eventually, they disappear and they reverse on you. Sometimes you're making money inside these products. Like, there's 100% zero reason to ever be in the stock market, and I can get almost anybody in the country to answer me back and say, you are right. But 2, 3 out of 10 people make a change. Why? There's an emotional cost that we have to honor, and I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. There's an emotional cost to making a change in your life, because at least you know this devil. You know that expression, the devil you know is better than the one you don't know? When you make a change, especially if you're a successful person and things are going well, you go, well, what if I make the change and things don't go well anymore? It's hilarious. We say to somebody, oh my gosh, look over here. There's this account that works this way. Look over here and look what you can have. And it's so much better. And they go, well, hold on. What if they go out of business? And it's the funniest question. I understand it. But what if the company you're with goes out of business? What if Edward Morgan Lynch goes out of business? What if Fidelity goes out of business? What if Bank of America goes out of business? What if New York? Why aren't you asking this question and losing sleep at night where the money is right now? Because the only time you go into a panic is when somebody says, let's make a change. And we give this giant argument. We've never lost an insurance company. They have to have 100% of the money at all time to pay all their debts. The bank doesn't. Brokerage firms don't work that way. Literally everywhere you have money has more of a chance of going out of business than if we move it to insurance companies. And by the way, we don't only use insurance companies. We do land banking on the investment side. I have a Series 65. I'm allowed to do stocks, bonds, and mutual funds with an investment advisor. I just choose not to for most people. A lot of the best things that exist today are from insurance companies, and they happen to be the safest historically. But when you suggest a change, the objections come flowing. What if they go out of business? What if this? So I just wanted to record this short conversation. I haven't put one out in a while on the fact that anybody can remodel their finances and it's 100% free, no cost, no change in net worth financially. But I understand how difficult this is for you to make changes and move hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars from the devil you know to one that you don't know, even though it's better. If you have ideas on how to help people with that emotional cost, I told you I'm not a great salesman. I'm just a teacher. I'm a conversationalist. I'm a guy in the industry who knows his stuff better than almost anybody in the industry. I found one person that knows more than me, was able to beat one of my financial plans, so I brought him on my team as a mentor. His name's Rob Hodges. But I'm just a guy in the industry who knows his stuff. But I don't know if I'm great at sales. I don't know if I'm great at getting people to see the emotional cost and go, hey, I think it's worth it. I'll do it anyway. Because a lot of people learn the truth from my show. A lot of people talk to me on the phone. A lot of people have Zoom. A lot of people talk to the 900 agents and end up doing nothing. And we say, I wonder why. If it's absolutely free and it only improves their lives, why? And all I can say is there seems to be a very heavy emotional cost moving money from one strategy to another, or saying the advisor I picked wasn't the best, or what my father did wasn't the best. Whatever it is, there's some cost that's really hard for you guys to make, and I want you to think about that. And if you want help looking at your options, just reach out. Charlie@jewettwealth.com, CHARLIE @JEWETTwealth.com. Why do I record these ridiculous podcasts with all my thoughts and all my voices? Because I think you people are the best.
Renovating Retirement with Charlie Jewett.
That's all, folks.